Windy out here, boys and girls. Deus 2 11-inch coil. Now, what I'm going to show here applies to the 9-inch coil too, but now they're not exactly the same, you know. Sensitive FT, a disc of 42, offset of 10 full tones. You see that gold ring down there, and there's some wire down there. You hear that machine? Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off. Camera back on. This is version 200. Now the disc, sensitive FT, full tones, offset 10, disc 6.8, silencer 1. Would you stop on that? That's a silencer of 1. Never see anything in that meter over a 3 for ID. Alright, I'll turn the camera off. Camera back on. This is sensitive program with a disc of 0, but I'm going to get in my truck with a window blowing. I'm going to explain how I've got this machine set up. You hear that? Get that 1 and 2 in that meter. Now that's a piece of wire and a gold ring. Now we can turn. Start getting a 60s ID. I'm going to turn this camera off. Okay, now the wire is coming out of this hole. See that gnarly colonial nail there? It's actually above that gold ring. Slightly, okay? Now this is not a very deep hole, but alright, that gold ring is down there. There's that old nail down there. This is sensitive FT, offset of 10 full tone, silencer 1. You hear that? There's nothing there to dig. Sensitive program, silencer of 2. And I'm going to show you how I've got this set up. Notice you hear iron tone when I come across that, but then you hear the high tone. Notice that. Now if I come over here, we get that traditional sounding tone the easy way. Alright? Notice we get to hear that iron tone there. Okay? Now, some iron on this machine can read a 1 or a 2. Did you hear how that signal sounds? Pretty long signal. It's not blurty, splotchy sounding. Plus, we're getting iron tone on the sides, huh? A lot of iron I sweep with this machine. If it did read a 1 or a 2 and give this high tone in this machine, it may be a blip. And it probably won't give iron tone on the edges. Okay, remember, you know, you get to choose what you dig. Now, this may not be good for all sites, depending on the user of this piece of equipment. All right. There's certain sites, the old sharpshooter, this is the only way he would run this machine, okay? And I'm going to get in my truck here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about how I've got this thing set up. I have shown something similar in the past. However, iron tone was removed. And I think the iron tone in this machine could help you recognize to maybe have a look-see by turning on that target. Okay? Single frequency ops there. I've got this machine. I'll go ahead. The wind's sort of laid here. Deus menu. 6.1 disc, 25 kilohertz. There's a whole lot of machines won't touch that gold ring in its configuration, rather sweeping as such to give the user a clue, okay? And remember now, this is an 11-inch coil. Alright, so let me turn this camera off and get in my truck where this wind ain't bothering me. Alright, Camera back on. I showed the sensitive program out there hitting that go ring, giving the user an indicator, okay? You might want to rotate on such a target that's giving that tonal presentation. What you heard in that video was 0 disc, okay? I had the machine in 4 tones. Now you could use 3 tones and you could use 5 tones doing this. You're not going to use pitch tones. All right. Now, see the tone break there. See that next tone break? See where it says 2? And I assigned a high tone to that. See that? And of course, you get to assign your volume. See that next tone break? Okay, well, that's 26. Well, you could back that up. Notice that low tone pitch there, 202. So I could back this up. Okay, I could probably back it up to right there. That's 9. I could even back it up to 8. And you're still going to get an iron tone. But remember, some of your iron may give high tone reading a 9 on this machine. Plus, you're out running this machine, you may decide to dial that higher. Okay, you could run that from 3 all the way to 30. There's a lot of that old fall. You can even run it to 35. Okay. If you chose to do so. But running this, setting it up like this, okay, it's giving you an iron tone when there's a nail down there because you've got that tone pitch dialed down. Now, running it like I've got it set up right here with that 35, you get an iron tone over a piece of fall. So you could, if you wanted to, you could back this up. You could back it up. I don't know. You see it there. That's 13. You could notch 13 to 35 on this machine if you so chose. That way you don't even hear that fall. You don't get no audio. But you come down a barrel of a nail, got a little gold ring beside it, you might get a clue. A nickel, even high conductors, believe it or not. Remember, you get to set your tone for your signals reading number 1 and number 2. So if you want to set them medium or high and set everything else, that's up to you. If you heard that in the wild, you're like, well, I'm finding too much stuff. I don't even want to worry about that right now. Well, you can do that, I guess, okay? But this makes this machine really, really nice in some areas that are large, okay? It just takes one nail, one piece of wire to knock you out of a nice find, depending on your coal sweep direction. Okay? Sports fields, farm fields. All right? Can you use this in a higher density iron site? You can. Because you're gonna get some nuance with the tone, the way this machine behaves. You heard it in that. If you hit a solo nail with this machine, it's not gonna sound like that. A lot of times. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna get fooled, okay? But in big, large areas like farm fields and sports fields where it's virtually impossible to sweep every approach angle in a football field, for example, it's almost impossible. It would take eons of time. Well, you can walk right behind another Deus user running this machine conventionally, and you might get on something that they walk right by, or a lot of other detectors, depending. Okay? I'm showing this video for the Deus 2 owners to let you know this machine has the potential to alert you to a cone-shaped, button-shaped, ring-shaped target that's being masked, generally, running this machine more conventionally. and it can't alert you on it. It's up to you to try it. You don't have to try it in all sites, and you can set you up a program and save it. And if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. Now, I will say this. Let's say you've got a small site. Let's say the site is a 40-foot by 40-foot plot. Let's say you've run in there with a Deus too, running this thing conventionally, running some lower silencer, maybe like silencer 1 and sensitive FT, different speed settings. And you've been in that 40 by 40 section a dozen times and hunted it for a long time, going round and around and around. This program probably ain't going to help you in that site. Okay? Odds are. You know, if you've gridded it, did all that good stuff, this is not going to help you. But like I said, it's hard as hell to grid a sports field, a big-ass farm field, okay? Now, if they move dirt around in a site, this could help you, okay? You can strike some, you know, this is not shallow detecting we're talking about here either. You can get some, you know, respectable depth for targets like I showed that wire with that gold ring and that nail. Okay? Probably works a little better on lower conductors than higher conductors, but it still works with higher conductors. You're probably allowed a little more 3D on lower conductors, and the size of lower conductor is going to be a driver. Ring, button, cone shape. That's the key. Okay? I'm just sharing this. You know, I showed something similar to this before. You know, some people, you know, oh, it ain't worth a shit. Well, you get to hear that iron tone. So, you know, you get to hear that iron tone report. So, if a nail is given a 1, for example, if you got a solo 1 in a field, let's say, and you didn't hear any iron tone, well, I probably wouldn't even dig that. I'd walk off. Okay? But if I had seen that 1 and I heard that iron tone rolling in and that signal, that high tone or whatever tone you got assigned is strong, oh yeah, I'd be rotating on that target at the very least. But you know, that's going to be up to the users of this fine piece of equipment. I hope you enjoyed.